Do you remember where Zilch finished on the football gauntlet? Because I don't remember.
I know Zilch beat Dia in the round of 32. I don't remember. He might have lost to Flurry in the round of 8. He did. He went
Okay,
pretty far.
fair enough. But with that, we've got a good start. We've started, so let's see what we start. So we have Rosa. Rosa is the second character. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that cursor ring is
And
really nice.
and we're not at least we're not going to see Evil in a 2 trolley spot because but in that bargain spot, that's not too much hit points to get through.
Yeah, that won't be too hard. It won't punch too hard either, even though Evil Wall cheats and kind of acts a little bit faster than most other bosses and in terms of how it manipulates its script. Using that crystal ring and maybe giving it to Edge early, make Edge even faster, which, given how the ATB system works in Final Fantasy IV, will make the bosses on the overworld even slower. So it makes it a lot easier to maybe take out that Baron in fight early. And we see Blaze just immediately landing the airship and putting on that crystal ring.
Yeah. Do you think that with that crystal ring, people would consider the initial dive then?
Yeah, I definitely would. Pretty much, it would definitely make me very tempted to do it.
Meanwhile, we have Valvalis going through Dampian, whereas all our other runners are looting Baron.
And that's Siren.
But more importantly, that's a Rydia, so that is already one of our objectives that we need to do. That's convenient, and that's Marlon Z. There you go, one swing and he is down. Let's see who we've got coming up.
Well, that gauntlet won't be too much trouble. It's going to be a little bit long, but it won't be too bad.
But that's still very good because that is one objective out of the way in the first couple of minutes. That's amazing.
Yeah. And definitely one that you can feel is very trolly. If like maybe the only Rydia would have been behind an Earth Crystal that you get late, or behind a hook you get late, or even worse at the Giant, and having some rude bosses there. Definitely nice to get this objective out of the way.
Agreed. That I definitely rolled some Rydia at Giant Seeds, and I was very upset.
And Vivaliskunk, I've seen picked up a Ninja Star, which will be very nice to just take out an early boss, probably in one shot. I'd see that thrown here. And I know that I saw Vivalis also pick up a Siren out of the Dampian Treasury too. So a little bit of extra grinding possibility, even though we do have Edge, and I'm pretty sure we have J-tables turned on, so Edge could steal. But at least you have a quick infusion of XP.
Yeah, that's gonna be great for our runners here. That looks like we have Daphne and Zilch also taking on the gauntlet as well. So yeah, they'll get their Rydia and they'll complete their first objectives very quickly as well.
Yeah, and Vivaliskunk's Rosa getting very well equipped, picking up her Rune Ring as well as a Sorcerer Robe. So she'll be very well defended and has some really good magic stats early.
Yeah, they should be able to handle whoever's at that line, especially Edge Start kind of facilitates that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I almost always wanted to get like a nice bow and arrow early, but this is pretty good too. Ooh,
oh, well, that's
a nice
a tiara.
reward. But that magma key from
we have DK. We also have DKC in Antline, so that's also a free fight. Oh, interesting. I was choosing to try to not. I suppose when you're that quick, I guess you're going to just try to skip that auto kill and just beat him to death.
Yeah, it should be a little faster to skip that speech, especially with how fast Edge is and being able to do it in 2. And there's some music. I wonder if anyone will take the extra time for that cutscene and give us a little bit of a reward.
Ooh, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure because Valvalis hasn't dived that Baron in. They might take a while to do that. Whereas, given all the other runners are going to get their magma key, that's going to they're quite likely to just ignore that for quite a while, I would think.
Yeah, and that tower, or the Twin Harp's one of those plays that I know like Chakasur likes to do a lot because people often avoid it. And it can absolutely win you some of these larger races if people avoid it and it's got the value.
Yeah, because you also should keep in mind it's not just Alpha runners here. We have 19 entrants into this race, so there's more going ahead off screen.
And Zilch and Dathis hot on Moonblade Wolf's heels, completing Baron Inn, where Valvala Skunk shows us that Odin is taking a bath at a waterfall.
You'd think that with all that water, his arm would just rust, right? I mean,
Yeah, or he'd be a little bit of a risk to himself if he... ooh, that's a demist up there on Mount Hobbs with guarding a Sid.
ooh. So we get bonus round on Mount Hobbs. Interesting. You know, we have Daphis looting mists, and you know, going through those checks there. Where Zilch is just also going to drop his Magma Key.
And today we're playing on Tstandard and Spro, so you're not getting any extra benefit out of looting mist, but it is some fairly dense checks, and that is a nice Zeus Rage to kind of help clean up some early stuff.
Ooh, that is. Oh, no, the fact that it's also lightning is also pretty useful for some bosses. Although, admittedly, we've seen one of those in Odin. But
Yeah.
it'll still be useful for when it comes to the Knato fight.
And Vavaliska picking up a full moon too that lets Edge get back row glitched if you're able to equip it in either his only hand that has a weapon or into his right hand if he has both weapons. And Vavaliska very quickly putting it on there, not just because it does that back row glitch, but also because it's actually just noticeably better than short swords.
Alright, so Moonblaze Wolf is going to give us our drop check in a moment as he's in Tomra, and he's a messenger. So that dwarf must be very a skilled ninja then, right?
Yeah, I wonder if he's just hiding out, doesn't want to deliver the message. Maybe it's some bad news for somebody.
Meanwhile, we found that in Mist Cave we have the Baron guard, so that's not going to be required. And whereas Val is going to start with going to normal for bull check. Ooh, cabins in Dwarf Castle. Okay, that's nice to know.
And I think I saw dwarf axes in Tomra.
Ooh, that's also gonna be very good, to help back row glitch. Not just a Sid, but any potential Cecils or Canes we come across. However, we're not going to see all our characters. We're guaranteed 7 unique characters, and so we're running slow on and we also know we're not going to get fusoya. So the number of characters that can use that dwarf axe is running a bit slim, apart from Sid.
Yeah, and we know we're pretty much only going to get 5 characters that we don't know right off the bat, because we know we're going to get Edge and we know we're going to get Rydia, and now we've seen 2 of the others, so there's only 3 left for us. Valhalla Skunk finds a Dark Elf up attacking Fabul and dispatches it very cleanly.
Ooh, Moonblaze Wolf looks like he's going to do a Siren grind.
Yeah, taking advantage of Edge's steal command and being able to just steal some Sirens. I don't know if he picked up a Thunderclaw anywhere to make this a really easy kill, but Edge will still be able to dispatch both the alert and anything that it summons fairly routinely.
Well, Valvella's just just got the reward from the full defense, and it's just some Artemis arrows, so not going to be required at this point. And it's going to be unfortunate when they find out that there's a chance to do it at the very worst a double dip, as opposed to a triple. Oh, but does get rewarded with another Siren in the throne room, so that's very nice.
That's very nice, and those Arty arrows are going to do a pretty piece of damage against those eggs, because those eggs actually do count as dragons. So Roses might be able to one-shot them. That'll be very, very nice for Valhalla Skunk.
Yeah, because even though it's early, those dwarf eggs, once you crack them, they do pack a punch. So.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to linger at low levels with them.
Ooh. Looks like Moonblade said no, isn't able to get the single shot kill, and this might be problematic.
Yeah, it did about 600 the first time, so it'll take 3 total attacks of attacking the alert. So we'll get extra XP for Edge off of killing all these Chimeras too. Ralphie in the chat asking where the Magma Key was, and it was at the Baron Inn behind a Mylon Z and the traditional Gauntlet who are guarding Rydia.
Ooh, another nice find for Valvalsa in Silvera. It's there was a Stardust lying in the ground.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup, and finds a middle sword too for Edge. So Valskunk's Edge is going to be just a little bit better equipped still. And that Stardust will be pretty nice for climbing Ordeals. We're still missing those two bosses that we have to find. Ordeals is a great place to try and find them.
Ooh. So, the chest that Zilch was using to grind sirens had a crystal sword. So, does that mean that Cecil is confirmed not in the seed, given that we found an early crystal sword?
I mean, that is definitely the lore of Free Enterprise, that if you find an early crystal sword, Cecil's never going to show. Or maybe Cecil shows at the end of the Giant or something when it's way too late. But we still got plenty of time, so who knows? We'll see if any runner takes the invulnerable strategy of selling a crystal sword to assert dominance. And that is a darkness crystal that Valskunk finds on Rydia, the Sunbathing Mother, after defeating Demas on top of Hobbs. That is a wonderful find.
That is a wonderful find, and I wonder when the rest of the runners will actually do that Mount Hobbs check, because I'm not sure they're all on the ground at the moment. It might take them a while.
Yeah, you might not think of it right away, although it wouldn't surprise me if Zilch and Blaze, if Blaze also did that same chest, do go and just peek for a Cecil, because Crystal Sword is a great reason to go hunt characters for a little while.
Yeah, fair enough. That's also true. It's very interesting options for routing at the very least.
And runners will be very relieved to find some cabins today rather than Monday, when, as far as I remember, neither tents nor cabins showed.
Yeah, so Val's just checked the who was sleeping in Kaipo, and it looked like that was a twin. I couldn't tell which one though.
I have a very hard time in bed from seeing them when they're face down, and I can't tell which shirt is there. But mute airs are nice to see in that weapon shop.
Yeah, it's also fair enough. So it looks like we got the pass in Feymarch. So at least getting to the Z fight, it's going to be pretty easy once we get there.
Yeah, that's our third siren that Zilch found out of a treasure chest. Valskunk has found 2, and Zilch just found that extra 1 in the save point. So that's some nice stuff. And Zilch is going to soon give us a peek at which evil boss we'll have to fight at the Leviathan spot.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. This is going to be very interesting to see. Although Zilch is also just teasing us at the moment, just by doing all like shopping checks.
Yeah. Did you know that there's a weapon shop there? Ooh, that is a moon boss and the Golbez. Golbez will be free if they can get some status stuff. Pale Dim is not going to be super great, but will be a wonderful use of those Artemis arrows that you get out of Fabul. Candy runners will be able to take advantage of that dragon weakness, or the dragon type on Pale Dim, and get a nice Berserk Rosa doing some pretty solid damage.
Ooh, no. And I suppose if you're able to find a heroine robe, that'll also be quite mint just to give Rosa some more strength. And
yeah, although she might borrow Edge's black belt and headband too if we haven't found anything else for them to share.
That's fair. That's also fair. It looks like Valvalis is also just looting the Troya castle, just making sure they are very prepared up until they do their I guess their inevitable fight of Baron Inn.
Yeah, one of the things that we've gotten so used to in most races, especially with Fabul Gauntlet, and since the version 4.0 came out, is that a lot of flag sets tend to have at least the basic starter kit. This flag set does not. So we're gonna have to go find whoever sells life potions and tents and cure 2s and star veils in order to kind of get all of the normal accoutrements that we're used to.
Ooh, I'm not sure if you picked it up, but while looting in Fame March, Daphis picked up an hourglass too. So that's got some potential. No, oh, there's also bandana in the armor shop, so we do have some options there. Ooh, Zilch is going for the Golbez fight. Interesting.
Yeah, if he has star veils, this is actually free because that crystal ring, as you just saw, will prevent Edge from being blocked or being held. So Edge can now take out one of the other people in the party and then still get a star veil off to know that, just to make sure that you get the XP on at least Edge. I imagine that Rydia might be taking a quick nap if it possible. Ooh, the dragon just does all the work for him.
Ooh.
Which means that Rosa also takes a nap.
Oops. Oh well. Oh, he did find some star veils. Right, this is a free fight now.
Yeah, the Asura spot has a lot of magic and not as many hit points as the Leviathan spot. So Zilch will just be able to hold A and let Golbez do most of the work himself, and just kind of finish it off a little bit.
See, this is why I'm considered bad at this game, because I would not have thought of that.
Yeah, it's way different if he was in the other side, because the Leviathan spot has a lot less magic and way more hit points, so it is not free. You actually have to do a fairly significant amount before your Star Veil runs out.
So meanwhile, Daphis is looks like he's going to talk to Yang in a bit to make sure, and it's probably going straight to football afterwards. No, to enable the Sheila 1 check.
Yeah, and Dathis will probably actually be really happy to see those Artemis arrows, having a little more knowledge about what's coming than Vaveliskunk was when Val did that initial fight. Ooh, and there's an X-Cal because Zilch needed another Cecil weapon.
Yep, Cecil's definitely not required now. Not in the seed, confirmed.
But Edge is still very happy to throw that weapon.
That's true. Can't throw a crystal sword, unfortunately. But, well, I say unfortunately, but, you know. I don't... The time do you have to throw a crystal sword is the time you're very sad. If you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, Edge has his heart on the spoon, and Eddie's not going to be able to equip it in this flag set, so Edge has got the sole claim to that weapon.
But no, I assume we can find a spoon. But you know,
that is
it might take a while.
And Vaveliskunk doing something I didn't see other people do, partially because Val was able to spend a little time extra looting and getting some levels, using both Edge's Flame and the Stardust item to clear out that football gauntlet a little bit faster than most of the other runners did. That is some heads-up play.
Yeah, and then now they have their magma key, so you know they're ready to go underground. Make that dive underground. Do you know if Moonblaze did the Sheila talk to Yang? Has talked to Yang yet? I guess he has. So, let's see if Sheila has the goods.
Well, a Luca key is a form of goods.
Oh, I mean, there is that, but given that the walk glitch is on, the value of that is only for the boss. Given that we already have an early Rydia, right?
Right. It is diminished, but as we saw on Monday, the boss could be there.
That's true. That's true.
And of course, one of our runners would actually have to let Rydia get some levels, which I don't think anyone's really done a whole lot of.
Oh, I think I've seen some levels on Rydia.
Yeah, I saw somebody toss a coffin at one of the eggs, so Rydia would have picked up levels there at least from somebody. Moonblaze finding their bonus round on top of Hobbs.
Okay, so look, Guru said that both Zilch and Moonblaze will use the coffin on as part of the ground to give Rydia levels. So while we're retreating old ground, I'd like to give a shout out to the people behind the background. We have Tower Sheep doing restream and Gundam Pilot Spaz doing clicking the buttons and making sure that both myself and Antidale are well aware of what's going on.
Yes, I know my memory is kind of like a goldfish in some of these, so it's always super useful to be able to see the stuff lit up, and Gundam has been doing a great job with that.
Oh, so Valval's at least is now trading new ground. I don't think we haven't seen anyone do ordeals, so we're going to get some new boss checks there at the very least. And once we get our assassin, that's not in the seed, there'll be a paladin. There'll be a paladin, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, it would be very nice if Val is able to actually pick up a Cecil at some point. Definitely a good. I like this play overall. When you've been through most of the overworld, haven't seen any of the bosses. Definitely the 3 boss checks here, as well as the extra key item. A good play.
Yeah, it makes sense. Given the given the requirements, you really want to prioritize making those boss checks, because the last thing you want to do is to go to a spot, an easy boss spot, and find, oh, that's where my my Asura was this entire time. And we have a turtle on the as our first boss in the Marlin spot, so shouldn't be too hard.
No, definitely a place that runners are happy to see this boss. Doesn't have that much HP, won't hit very hard with the punches. Edge will be able to knock down the HP pretty well enough to where the wave is going to do almost nothing when it comes out, if it even gets a chance. Rydia not learning a particularly great spell on Hobbs, just getting the Mage Summon.
Oh, at least I do like making that check though, because if you get something like Sylph or one of the really good ones, it's that check is worth its weight. It's really well worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Sylph, Titan, or Asura are the ones I'm usually looking for. And then we find Edge's parents guiding the back attack spot. A little unfortunate for, I'm sure Val would like to see them somewhere else to get a little extra XP out of this, but makes it nice and free.
Yeah, no, given how free that fight is, it always feels like a shame when you have Edge try to take down the parents. It's always a sad moment.
I mean, but they turn into monsters. What else is they supposed to do?
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, over time they regain their senses. Who knows? Maybe they can harness that fire too for good as opposed to evil.
Yeah, maybe you can like recruit them to throw fire twos at Golbez instead.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. At least prove their worth that way. Help out for the cause. So meanwhile, Moonblaze has just gotten their twin harp, and Zilch is basically following Moonblaze Wolf in there. Speaking of rude bosses in good spots, that is a Rubicon as the final boss spot. So that's that's a excuse me, that's a really rude boss potentially. So good. I think the rounds would probably be happy to see it here as opposed to anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of had an Edge-themed ordeals here with his parents and Rubicon as the last 2 bosses.
That's true. That's very interesting. I didn't even think about that. Did anyone pick up what was the key item at ordeals? Because I missed that.
Looks like Gundam has attracted to the pink tail, because that's the only.
Ooh.
That's what Val has.
Yep, that makes sense. Pkey Tail and Pink Gundam, yeah, Pink Tail. So unfortunately, not an Adam armor because that we have to know Adamant's armor flag turned on. So, but it still can be potentially a very good item.
And Moonblaze Wolf had picked up looked like an Ice Claw somewhere because Edge punched that turtle for about 1,800 hit points, which is an awful lot.
That's not a small number. That is definitely not a small number.
No, that spot has a little bit north of 2,000 if I remember correctly.
I'm going to take your word for it. I don't remember how many hit points each thing has. If it comes to it, it's like, all right, what does this boss have? Look it up and go from there. So Val is going to be raising their whale. I wonder if it maybe potentially look at who's at the moon.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Checking that character, you've done ordeals, so you probably wouldn't mind seeing Tella or Cecil.
I'm not sure if Val would actually value that, considering they haven't. I don't think they found a Crystal Sword or B Excalibur.
Yeah, but I'm never going to be sad to see Cecil, so
that's fair. Cecil is pretty much that good.
Yeah, and if you have that pink tail in hand, it's going to give you one of the tier 7 items. Both the Excal and the Crystal Sword should be in that pool. So you'd be pretty happy to have pink tail and probably run to turn it in if you ever get a hook. G was noting also like Avengers. And go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
I was noting that Jeeves in chat had mentioned Avengers too as excellent weapons for Cecil.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Avenger is definitely also a good one. Ooh, the syrup for sale in the Hummingway shop as well as exit. So that's probably going to be worth it considering we haven't found an exit mage just yet.
Yeah, definitely would be a little bit happier with the exits on the Azura summon since we already have Rosa. And who knows when we'll see an Earth Crystal.
That's true. So, moment of truth is who are we going to see on the in the moon?
Oh, he's a fan of Moonward.
But there's no spoon flags, so
yes, Moony Bards.
I think you just cursed everyone by saying by asking for it.
I think I blessed everyone with that joyous Moonbard, but we'll see what everyone else feels like.
No. There's some things that Edward can do which no one else can, so I'll give you that. Might tempt people to try to do Eddie strats if they're aware of it, how to do that.
Yeah, the Eddie strats really only come into play if we get a pretty quick go mode because they just take so long to do. That if the bosses are hiding somewhere deep in the moon, we'll probably have the levels anyway to not worry about them.
Yeah. Understandable. It's and it looks like Valvalis is just made their way underground as Daphis raises the whale.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of runners kind of going over each other's ground here for a little bit. Valskong finding some longswords. We'll probably sell stuff to upgrade those a little bit. Ooh, selling those Artemis arrows. That might be a little bit painful at some point.
Ooh. Well, I'm sure they have a plan. plan. Maybe they just really need that money. Pull those longswords or less.
And Moonblaze Wolf being Hero of the People, the first person of the 4 restrained
Ooh.
runners to get that Twin Harp and to go cash it in. Giving us one of those other things Edward can do that no one else can, play the harp.
I mean, I could play the harp, just not well, but I could play the harp.
I eagerly anticipate the Infinious covers of Edward's Spoony Bee.
Yeah, let me just go find my harp in a second. I'm sure it's here somewhere.
Do you have a favorite cover tune that Edward likes to play?
Oh, I think anything Chrono Trigger, honestly.
Yeah,
How
those
about
are all
yourself?
so good. I really like Bloody Tears. Castlevania 2, I think, is something I just really enjoy out of the harp.
But anyway, we're about to have music, so we are all going to be quiet while we all get to enjoy the tunes of DJ Spoony B. So it looks like we have some Kingdom Hearts. I must admit, I actually haven't played a Kingdom Hearts game, so I didn't pick it at first.
Same here, but both Rothian and Scala Kitty identifying Kingdom Hearts, and Scala saying that it is dearly beloved. It's a very nice sounding tune.
Yeah, it is. That is a nice one.
But a Berserk Edge takes no time at all to get rid of Baigen and his multiple snake arms, and then we will soon see what we have hiding behind that harp. Well, a Moonveil's nice, but not worth the trip back out.
Yeah, yep. Moonblaze Wolf shows why he fought by just instant resetting, not even walking out like XP or anything like that.
Although, to be honest, I might have taken that just to you give it to Rosa, and then she absolutely just cleans up that Pale Dim fight, and it's totally free at that point.
But Moonblaze Wolf doesn't have an source of exit, right? So that would be a really painful walkout.
It'd be a little bit of a walkout, but it might not be too bad. I mean, just knowing that that fight suddenly becomes free and you don't have to think about it anymore is it has some value.
That's fair. Anyway, Moonblaze Wolf has instantly reset and is going to go check Dwarf Castle. It looks like we've got some. Oh, and Valval Skunk is just right behind him. Oh, that's an Elements fight.
Yeah, the palette there's a little bit tricky. You get the red robe instead of the purple for Mylon as the lead character.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think that's the first time I've seen that actually. So, but this should be.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
Rosa makes Edge very angry. Angry Edge punches very hard twice, and elements go away.
Yeah, very simple fight. But who do we have? As in the Golbez spot? Hang on, I thought we just defeated you. Oh, another bard as your reward.
You know, I bet the runners are really hoping, we're really wishing that it was actually a Fiend's hunt instead of having to find Asura and Bahamut, because we've seen everyone except Vivalis.
Yeah, that's well, that would be very quick fight, wouldn't it? That's Having said that, Valis is still a rude boss, so I don't think I'd want to see her in a tough one.
Yeah, there aren't many places left I'd actually want to fight Val, but just the fact that we've seen 5 of 6, 35 minutes into the seat is kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's true. That's such a coincidence. It's kind of funny like that. But no, Moonblaze Wolf is through that fight. And it's going to be rewarded with not just the item that Luca's wearing around her neck, but also, because I think he has the levels, be able to walk glitch to get the item in Luca Cave, in the sealed cave.
Yeah, Rydia gets it pretty early, so she was definitely awake for that second fight. I think she took a nap at the end of the first one for Blaze, but she should have warp. Helm's the one you have to kind of watch out for, especially when we no longer have the 10 levels behind triple slingshot. Ooh, a rat tail.
Ooh.
So that is both tails just looking for a hook to turn them in with.
Ooh, that. Who knows? Maybe Luca is wearing that hook somehow.
Nope, she's just changed key accessories today, giving us the tower key instead of the Luca key.
Well, that's still a good find. That enables you to just go through go do the tower at least, so without any trouble. So that's a nice thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You are already pretty incentivized to at least do the top of Lower Babel, because then you also get to see who's at the Rubicon spot to know whether or not you might need the hook or give you a little more information about it. But now that you can full clear this tower, definitely something I would be looking to take advantage of, just like Blaze is doing right now.
Oh, meanwhile, Daphis is following. No, is also going to be a hero of the people and also going to do their Twin Harp check. So we're going to get more Kingdom Hearts music in just a moment.
And Vivalisskunk, not having used a Coffin and a Siren to pick up a lot of levels, having a lot more trouble with this Elements fight than Moonblaze Wolf did.
I might actually be concerned the fact. Yep, I think that's her second. That's their second wipe. So they might just try something else for now.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. If you do it a couple times and you still can't quite get through it, it's better to just come back at some other point when you've done a couple other checks and picked up extra experience.
No, fair enough. No, last thing you want to do in these kind of things is to go on tilt and just commit to doing something you can't do at all.
Yeah, there's definitely a time in practice where you want to do that to kind of expand what you know you can do and to make things a little bit easier on yourself. We'll see if Zilch remembers to warp glitch out of here.
Meanwhile, we did find a summon boss. In the Rubicon spot. Unfortunately, it's Leviathan and not the one or two we're looking for. Meanwhile, we do have some. No, we have the Kuiper guards at the top, so that should be a pretty relatively straightforward fight.
Yeah, I see Rydia twiddling her fingers. We might be seeing a Jin here pretty soon, or a Titan. Actually, probably Titan. As long as she stays up and doesn't get punched to napping time.
Ooh, she did get hit once, but no, might be clear now. Yep, yep, gets that Titan off. Huh, not quite enough to wipe everything else, but a one swing from Edge is enough to at least trigger the retreat from the officer. Or Edge could just, go get angry. Nope, there's the retreat.
Yeah, there's just a little bit too much HP in that spot to really have it
Yep.
show up. There's another crystal sword. My goodness.
Oh boy. Ooh, Zilch is opening up the tower key and showing us it's a water hag there. So that's actually kind of annoying in this spot because you have to hit it 3 times, but it has such low HP anyway. It's not worth. You still have to go for that cutscene.
Yeah, you're like, why couldn't you be at D-Lunars where it actually saved a lot of time? But no, you have to be here.
In fact, costs you time and know that. Well, the fact that you have to hit 3 times and. So meanwhile, Val is also going to go pick up give us music and also get that moon veil potentially.
It'd be interesting to see if either Dathis or Vivaliskunk do keep that moon veil just as a free pass out of a boss somewhere later in the game.
Yeah, I do like your idea of using that moon veil to at least basically cheese the pale dim fight because that's required. That's a smart use of that item, that J item.
Yeah, it's required. It punches really hard, and that totally and it only punches you as long as you don't cast summons at it. So that totally removes it. Pretty much defangs that dragon. So I would definitely be intended to do exactly what Dathis is doing and walk that out. This is a place where if your Rydia had warp, you would save a little bit of time by warping out, like most people are used to doing at the sealed cave.
Yeah, I also imagine that most people be used to having exits, so they're just like, oh, I'll just exit out. It's fine.
Yeah, we definitely saw Dathis go into his inventory looking for them, or into I think Rose's magic, expecting it to be there, and not quite yet.
Anyway, Moonblade Swap. Go on.
I was gonna say I've only done that like pretty much every seed I ever have Rosa in and don't have the Tower of Zot completed, so I definitely understand that.
Yep. So meanwhile, Moonblade Swap is going to give us what we get from our tower key check. Oh, not a Stardust, which is a very good item, not required, but given we've got Rydia online now, that's a good find.
Yeah, we have both a Tiara and a Stardust Rod, so Rydia's Black Magic stat is going to be pretty much as high it could possibly be if we equip them both.
Actually, it occurs to me. Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, it occurs to me now that given that there's 7 distinct characters, it's highly likely right now that there is no Cecil in the seed. Because we know there's a twin in the bed, and we see all the other 5 on screen on Zilch's side. So those crystal swords may end up being just straight up cash and make everyone sad. I like it.
Yeah, that's definitely part of the wonderful troll of the seed if that ends up being true. I mean, a package go mode with Cecil at the package would also be kind of delightful, just to twist the knife in a different sort of way.
Oh, that would be rude in so many other ways, though.
I mean, really, there's no losing if Cecil is anywhere of the available spots except maybe if we get a Baron key pretty soon.
Well, actually, occurs to me what would even be ruder is if it's would be if the final boss is actually at the King Queen Evelyn spot. Especially since we know that there's a Leviathan is at the Rubicon spot. You have even less incentive to go there.
Yeah, exactly. No one's really incentivized to going there at this point. And once they've done the top of tower, and if they actually remember, I don't often remember to mark down that boss, so I will forget it at least half the time.
Yeah, it doesn't help when you have a memory of a goldfish sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm so focused on what boss I'm fighting and are about to fight, and forget to actually retain the information about who's coming. Still doing another stealing session, picking up a lot of sirens. Looks like 4 in a row at least.
Oh, that's pretty lucky.
And it is a level-based thing, so as Edge gets more levels, his chance to actually steal sirens increases a good bit.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is that given our current price up, you have to start thinking about what the grind's going to look like, and I suspect I guess the easiest one is just siren grinding at this point in time.
Yeah, you're probably not going to count on anyone having weak, so a grind in the giant off of D machines is probably out of the question. I have seen some people have a Thunderclaw. You do have Rosa. I know I saw lit arrows, and someone had an Ogre Axe somewhere. So you could do a Mac Giant grind if you wanted.
But yeah, I think it was Zilch that had an Ogre Axe. I think he picked up in the tower. Ooh, Moonblaze. Alright, I like this. Moonblaze Wolf is going diving the moon.
Yeah, definitely gonna show us a lot of new ground. Blaze taking after his namesake, just gonna go right here to the moon. And we will see what is found. Using some sirens here, she'll be fighting the warlocks. I think maybe you found some mute bells. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this takes all the sting out of this fight.
Yep. So, for those unaware, once the warlocks are muted, their script is such that they don't do anything for quite a while. So you can just berserk them down.
Yeah, they'll cast until there's only one left, and that one will do a little bit of punching now and again. But they're pretty much not going to do anything useful to the party or harmful to the party until they're all dead. But with that mute knife that Edge has, that's going to do all the damage and make this a easy grind for Moonblaze Wolf.
Oh, that was a lot of hurting. Oh, those are not small numbers.
No, 5, 8, and 6K. This is definitely a really nice grind when you have an Edge or a Rune Axe. And it's something that we saw a good bit in the Football Gauntlet, as you weren't always guaranteed to have someone with a weak, or weren't guaranteed to have hourglasses to do the double dragon grind. And it's pretty comparable in terms of XP. A little bit slower, just because they get more actions and get to do a little bit of stuff, but is not too off.
Oh, so it looks like Zilch is following everyone's footsteps and also giving us music. So everyone being a hero to people and giving us at least music.
Yep, 4 for 4, no favorites.
Yep. So while everyone's either grinding or trading old ground, I'll encourage everyone to give our runners a follow. They're putting a good show for us, displaying their talents, and I'm sure they would appreciate all the help they can, all the love back.
And of course, if you're in a following mood, feel free to follow my co-commentator here, Infinius, or Tower Sheep, our restreamer, or Gundam Pilot Spaz, who is doing our tracking tonight. And the wonderful Skull Kitty in chat, using those commands to make it very easy for you if you would like to.
So meanwhile, looks like Valve. I think that Valve House is doing their Siren Grand, and I believe that was the chest that had the crystal sword in it. So they're either going to be very happy or very disappointed with this kind of with what they get.
Until just using one of those Stardust to get it out of the inventory before berserking Edge will help Edge just kind of make sure targets by again, which is kind of a nice play. And the arms don't get too much magic defense either.
All right, so look, yeah. So while we're going, it looks like Moonblaze Wolf is going to bottom up. It's in terms of Moon. So let's go. Look forward to seeing what three bosses are left actually. Now I think about it.
Let's see. I don't think we've seen Ogopogo. We know where Evil Wall is. We haven't seen either of the two bosses that we actually need to find.
That's true. Yes, we haven't seen Wyvern.
Nope, no Wyvern.
See, there's a lot on the table, isn't there? This could potentially be very rude.
Yeah, and if we don't have any stop spell hourglasses or anything like that left, the Dark Imps, like at Ogopogo's spot, are awfully rude. Surprisingly so, because they just punch so hard.
Alright, so Ribbon Room, what do we have here?
It looks like
Is
the
this randomized?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit shuffled maybe, but the D-Lunars just didn't want to go anywhere. They really like their home. Moonblaze Wolf punching them, triggering the script, and quickly resetting. Edge did not do quite the damage that he was expecting, I think, out of that.
Yeah, that's... yeah, so take two. White Spear spot. So this is Plague, the Plague spot. Who do we have here? Well, that's looks. Ooh, that's not a bad spot for Mum Bomb. It's just annoying, and as you can see, hits like a truck.
Yeah, there's not that much HP here, so as long as Edge doesn't get targeted too badly, this will go pretty okay. As you saw, Rydia taking 1700 in the front row. Not long for this fight.
Although it looks like Edge did get hit once and only did 200. So, but that's with a back row and also I imagine with better armor. So, having said that, it looks like Edge is just tearing through Mum Bomb. So it should be relatively free.
Yeah, Edge and Rosa have this pretty well taken care of.
Now Sid's helping by being slow.
He's shipping like 400 points of damage now and again too. It's not nothing to sneeze at.
It all counts.
That makes the numbers go up. And the numbers are what you want to go up, so good news.
Well, that's 1600 from around 1600 from Rydia's virus, so that's nothing bad either. So all adds up. So something that's actually potentially interesting fact that I don't think we've seen any curse rings at all. So we may have to consider how we're going to our anchoring situation at some point. But Sid's probably a good anchor in any case. So
yeah, Sid's a good anchor for a long time. We know there's a dwarf axe somewhere in the seed, and also I'm pretty sure that the rescue flag is still on because it's on by default, and I don't think we saw buy from the character flag.
Let me quickly check that. Yeah, there's no buy flag, so we can pick up someone from Missy D if we need to. But
Yeah.
Moonblaze Wolf is through.
Gets that Earth Crystal. That's a couple more
Ooh.
characters to check for, as well as opening up one boss spot that we haven't had access to, and gives you incentive to actually check the other boss spot too.
That's fair. But and also we also get access to the treasury, but it's only Tstandard, so it's not going to be an amazing treasury.
Yeah, I don't know how much looting we'll see. It's a little bit late to actually go loot that at this point, I think. But who knows? Maybe we'll need some extra money for some reason or another, and want to just loot it and pick up some stuff.
I don't think money. I get the suspicion that money's not going to be a problem, considering we have a whole bunch of crystal swords which we aren't going to use. So,
but maybe there'll be a bug and there'll be an 8th character and it'll be Cecil, or Cecil will just be the 7th character anyway.
Oh, that's true.
These are things I hope for.
Oh, so we got. Alright, so we need to have a dual fight in the Etoggle Pogo spot. That's of CPU. It's just going to be a long one.
Yeah, Rosa's got the healing covered here. It's just going to be really, really slow.
Yeah. Don't really want to trigger Globe 1999, so just no. But it's a safe fight, so if you just concentrate and work on it, it'll fall.
This is one of those fights that is an interesting gamble on whether you take it or say, I am happy to lose if it's here, because this will take a long time. And some portion of runners will take a look at this fight and say, nah, I'm gonna come back later. And some will do what Blaze is doing and say, well, if it's here, a lot of people will go. What did you see?
I think Moonblaze is going to do something sneaky. He's trying to get to reflect onto the attack a bit, and then quake things through.
Unfortunately, it floats the CPU.
It was probably worth the gamble, though. Anything that it didn't take that many actions to try and get through it. So, well, meanwhile, Zulf is going to be taking on required Pale Dim. Let's see how he goes. Well, that's one X-Scale down. Berserking Rosa. Oh, I guess Rosa has the Artemis arrows, so he's probably going to prove the idea that you had.
Yeah, 2,000, 4,000 damage. As long as Rosa doesn't get bought too hard, this will be pretty free. Might have to throw a couple life pots on other people in order to just kind of get other targets up there. Because unfortunately, without a Bacchus Wine, you can't self-circ behind a Moon Veil, in case Zilch did keep that Moon Veil.
I believe he actually reset, so
well, it's all up to Rosa now.
Yep.
Who has a crystal ring or the tiara, so she's 100% fine.
Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, looks. Ooh,
or maybe not. Those are some good punches.
Ooh, that was a good punch. Ooh. Meanwhile, Daphis is making a play here. He's just.
It looks like he just walked back out to save.
Ah, okay. He's gonna make that check, I believe, of the boss here. This is a very interesting gamble. But given we are hunting for a boss, Oh, there's a curse ring as well. So that's oh wow, that's a lot of decent gear. Just know if you have to come down this way. So. But this is a very interesting gamble on Daphne's part. Let's see if it pays off. Meanwhile, yeah, looks like Zilch, Rosa went down, so Zilch is reset. What did he get through? I missed it.
Yeah, Rosa did go down. She took about 300 and only had 290 left. I think there was a little bit of reshuffling of items. Edge still had the crystal ring on. I think that went onto Rosa instead. To give her just some extra defense that she didn't have before. Hopefully increases the multipliers a little bit and lets her get through this fight.
Yeah, fair enough. So survey on deficit screen says...
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
I think this is both community races for this flag set, where Asura is just kind of chilling here at Evil Wall spot.
Well, wow, Daphis is actually so far ahead now. No, I don't think anyone else is going to consider checking the spot for quite a while.
I mean, of our restream runners, it feels like I could see either Val or Zilch wanting to do it before going to the moon. They're both here fighting Pildim and probably think to check Luca just as well, I don't want to come back if I don't have to. Although you need to still do the pan, so never mind.
Yeah, so... Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Daphis looks maybe doesn't have the mute knife that we saw Moonblade Wolf use quite so well up in the Lunar Subterrane, so we'll probably just have to take the fact that he has some knowledge to heart. Yeah. We'll come back some other time.
That is a lot of knowledge, though. Admittedly, that is a huge game changer. Meanwhile, Moonblade Wolf looks like they're going to be through to the CPU fight in a moment. The main CPU is now down. It's just the attacker, and yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Ooh, looks like he's trying to set up levels for Rydia, but the attack bit is being not very unkind here.
Yeah, Rydia doesn't get a ton of vitality, so she can fall pretty quickly to the that constant 10% if she gets resurrected. And Leviathan spot giving just a Leviathan summon as well as an objective complete.
That's more vanilla reward for a non-vanilla boss spot. Oh, it looks like Daphis is going back. So,
yeah, he went and bought some Star Veils, so maybe that was the problem, that he didn't have wall to prevent Asura from healing herself. Blaze just gets a Protect Ring out of that fight with CPU, so that is a lot of time invested in pretty much just getting some experience.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but no. I mean, you're not going to check that spot anyway. You're here, so.
Zilch, who was never going to be closer to doing Sealed Cave, does not do Sealed Cave. And behind an Asura that he does not know is there.
Ooh. Meanwhile, Valvalis is doing their Paladin fight, and I wonder if they're going to be hurting for the fact that they sold their Artemis arrows.
Definitely something we'll probably want to ask Valvalis if we remember to during the interview, because that is absolutely one of the things that I would be kicking myself for.
Yep.
Zilch will probably also make pretty good use of them if Zilch decides to do like Lunar Frogs and then just use a Zark Rosa to absolutely take care of these day Lunars in their vanilla spot.
Well, meanwhile, we finally see Daphis, try to take on this this Asura, this required Asura. And I think it just realized part of the problem in that, by walling up Edge can't now become berserked.
Yeah, but I think that Sid has either mute arrows or an elven bow, because that was a cool 2K Sid did with an arrow shot.
But that's fair enough. That should cut through Asura pretty relatively quickly.
Zilch finding some exits here in the Hummingway shop, like I believe Alice did much earlier in the seat.
Yeah, going to be very useful considering considering Rosa doesn't learn exit until you actually get the Earth Crystals down here. So
and Vavaliskunk is through that Pale Dim fight, getting their Leviathan summon and their objective completed.
meanwhile, we do see frogs on Moonblaze Wolf's side.
Yep, shoutouts as always to Dipwood for finding the strategy during, I think it was the first Highway to the Zima Zone, where we got to learn that the frogs can, or the Lunar Dragons will breath themselves if you're able to reflect it on them.
Meanwhile, Zilch recruits O Dwarf. Oh, I love silly names sometimes. You get some good ones.
I think Edward has like the best collection of them. Dathis gets rid of Asura.
Yeah, that's another objective down, but probably one of the more obscure ones to get given the current setup at the moment. So I'm sure he will quickly go down to Fame and take out the Viper spot pretty quickly after this.
Yeah, that's got to feel really good for him to take that gamble and actually be handsomely rewarded.
Yeah, that is yeah. If I was Zaphis, I would be very happy that this paid off.
And plus, having found the Cursed Ring, and there's an Hourglass 2 in here too, and being able to keep them without too much penalty is really, really nice.
Yeah, agreed. And I wonder if Daff is going to loot that Sorcerer Rev that was also down here as well. I don't think he picked up on the way down, but he might pick it back up on the way up. No, it looks like he's just going to walk on by. So currently we have three people on, diving moon, and we have Dapsa here knowing with the Asura in the pocket. So it's interesting to see where we have to go to from here. Meanwhile, Moonblaze picks up the Legend Sword and a spoon. So even more things we can eventually throw at Zero Miss eventually.
Yeah, that's a couple more key items, and it looks like that would put Moonblaze Wolf over 10. I think to 11. At 10 exactly.
10. Nice. So that's going to be double experience. So future grind's going to be a lot quicker at this point in time.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a good reason to maybe use those last couple of sirens there and just finish it up. Rydia looks like at level 41, so she might not be getting nuke. It takes an awful lot for her to get there. But the rest of the team will be pretty well in shape. You see Blaze going to equip the Thunderclaw here. It's just going to do some great damage to both Balneb in this fight and Lugay in the second fight, because they both are machines and are weak to Thunder physical melee attacks.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty free fight, relatively speaking. Meanwhile, Valval's solos vanilla D-Lunars and set and no donouts. Going to take up some other fight instead.
Yeah, those D-Lunars are really unappealing in their vanilla location. They just get enough HP that it's not too much fun. So I definitely agree with everyone who has seen them and said, yeah, in a few minutes. And Blaze showing us that unfortunately, while Balnab and the second Dr. Liga form are both machines, Balnab Z is not. So you don't get any extra damage off of that Thunderclaw.
But having said that, he's still through, so he'll get to interface 2 pretty quickly. Hopefully pick up that Rydia. We'll see.
Yeah, there's just not that much XP out of this fight. I mean, it'd be nice to pick her up and get the double for that, but because it is a split boss, you don't get all of the XP out of this fight anyway.
That's true.
But one nice thing about this fight is because all the HP is divided among the forms too, this will go down pretty fast.
Yeah, that's also fair. Yeah. All for glass hat.
Yeah, not the reward Moonblade's Wolf is looking for, although Blaze still has to fight the Pale Dim, so it's not awful, because that will definitely help make someone else pretty much immune to Pale Dim's attacks as well.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, just thinking about this, what actually do we need? So what do we need now? We need to find the pan, and we need to find who else we need to find Bahamut. So it might progress might have to be behind either the Earth Crystal or the Baron Key, because we already have unlocked everything else, right?
Yeah, so we still have the hook that can gate a boss. We have the package that can also gate a boss, so Bahamut could be in either of those locations. We have Earth Crystal that gates a boss, and we do have that key item, as well as gives you incentive to actually go to Zot to see both of those bosses there. And then the pan has to be behind Earth Crystal or Baron Key, or in the last 2 spots here on the moon.
Yeah, interesting. Meanwhile, we see Moonblaze Wolf slightly punished for not checking the Hummingway shop and not getting those exits, having to walk all the way back out of here.
Yep, and gracing us with those wonderful poison noises that, man, I'm never so glad I'm on comms when I get to meet the stream and I have to hear them.
Okay, it's not just me that thought about that. Yeah.
I apologize to our viewers who had to suffer through all of that noise. Send your DMs to Moonblaze Wolf. Don't send Blaze DMs. Or at least not about that.
No. It's one of those things, you gotta do what you gotta do. There's no point, healing up that poison, so may as well just deal with it. So interesting that Zilch is making good use of that Leviathan summon to make this Steel Lunas fight a lot quicker. So just being able to do a whole bunch of AoE damage is going to be quite nice in this spot.
Yep.
Oh,
And
hi, Wyvern.
Yep. And by Wyvern, we're on our quick reset. Well, Wyvern 1, Runner 0 so far.
Yeah.
Blaze is like, nope, I'm out of here. I don't have a good agility anchor. We will see you later. Or hopefully never.
Yeah.
That's another piece of advantage that Dathis has in his back pocket. Will be able to actually do that Wyvern pretty straightforwardly, where everyone else will either have to go switch out an anchor or go find a cursed ring somewhere.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's that I really feel like the rest of the runners are going to be in a world of hurt.
Well, and there is our last of the fiends. Unfortunately, we don't have to fight any of them for an objective, unless they're hiding a key item that we need. And this is not a pretty spot for Valvalis. She will punch very, very hard here.
And I see that she also can't. No, given she will not take any damage from magic, so this might be. I imagine it's doable. It's just going to be very slow and painful.
Yeah, if I'm Blaze, this is probably a spot where I toss a spoon or an Excalibur if I still have them. I feel like that would be worth the time. See, and Valvalis is doing some more grinding and has done a good job of keeping Edward down at base level. So Edward is going to be a very, very good anchor for Valaskunk. And Dathis is now taking on that Golbez. Has correctly gotten his party down to just Rosa and Edge. Will make sure that the Shadow Dragon will eat anybody else or eat one of those very important characters. Edge with the Crystal Ring on does not get held, just like we saw earlier in the run. We'll be able to get a Star Veil up and just make a very quick work of this. While Val is grinding and Dathis is fighting through Golbez, Zilch is fighting Bombom to get the Earth Crystal eventually, and Moonblade Wolf is treading the new ground, fighting Valvalis up in Value Cave. Which will tell us whether or not we actually will need to do that Wyvern at the Pale Div spot or not, depending on what we get here, and whatever follows a chain if we get something that provides access to further key items. But Edge is pumping out some pretty appreciable damage, doing about looks like 2,000 to 3,000 damage per swing. And this spot doesn't have all that much HP. Why Bahamut's kind of a pushover in the HP department. We'll be interested to see if Zilch does go through with the CPU fight or decides it might be a little bit too long for his liking. Dathis picks up his Excalibur from the Golbez fight and gives Edge a nice darting weapon at some point, and uses an exit to get right on out of Feymarch. Meanwhile, Blaze gets the adamant shiny space rock, which does complete an Excalibur form for Edge to throw if he wants to.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's gonna sting a little bit, you know. Do all that and just to find not progression.
Yeah, so that does mean that we know progression is through that Wyvern, I believe. No, we also have Earth Crystal.
No, Earth Crystal. Earth Crystal.
Yeah, so we've got a 50-50 on whether or not we'll have to do that Wyvern. in terms of does this give progression or not. The actual stats are a little bit different, but it's late and I don't want to do math.
Yeah, honestly, I would think that the odds are probably in Moonblaze's favor to go for this Earth Crystal check, but again, I also can't be bothered doing math.
Yeah, Blaze deciding now is probably a good time to go clean up that Pale Dim here in the Fey March, and I agree with that. Meanwhile, Zilch did reset out of that CPU fight at Ogopogo, so Zilch does save a little bit of time over Blaze, at least on that choice.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair enough. It's gonna work out for Zilch, and it looks like he's exiting out. Interesting. I guess he's just gonna gamble on, on that CP not being required. It's gonna work out, so that's good for him at least. And it's going to get to have a nice talk with our pal Vern.
Yes, he will say why at least once.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Daffus is going meme first and doing K value first. Looks like.
Yeah, and still doing some pretty significant looting. That is one thing that will be slowing Daffus down a little bit, just because he is opening a lot of treasure boxes, and the amount of utility you're getting out of a Tstandard this late is a little bit low. I'm not sure it's actually worth it, but doing a good job here, knowing that you do get the double gold dragon fight here on the moon, or in Value Cave, and using his sirens right here, and has a couple hourglasses for them as well.
That's also quite convenient on his behalf. Alright, making sure that Eddie is doing what Eddie does best and be in bed. And it's about to go to town. Did Zilch actually get that Earth Crystal or not?
I believe Zilch got the Earth Crystal, but it's not tracked. So there's always a lot that's going on, so it's entirely possible that... I know I miss stuff constantly when I'm tracking.
Oh yeah.
So, but I assume Zilch has it since he is going up south.
Yeah, I assume that as well. No. Tracking for 4 people is never easy. Sometimes one bit of Gomo, when you have both bits of Gomo happen at the same time on different screens, it's very awkward.
Yeah, and I like this play by Zilch. Did a lot of face checking of bosses of the moon. None of them were what he needed. So deciding to gamble on them not actually having anything behind them either, since we're only missing 1 key item. And there are only a couple that will actually gate you getting to other ones. I really do like this play for him.
So just as a recap for those who have come in, we have 5 things we need to do. We need to find Rydia, which, as you can tell, all our restream racers have found. We need to find Bahamut, who is still outstanding. We need to fight the King Leviathan spot, which Moonblaze has just finished, and I believe everyone else has completed. We need to wake Yang with the Pan, which, the Pan is still outstanding. And we need to find Asura, which Daffus is found in Sealed Cave. So we have still got a fair bit to go in this seat. So it'll be very interesting to see where the final bits of the puzzle are found.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if anyone makes any gamble on the Giant to kind of see if that Bahamut's going to be up there. I'm sure Zilch is really hoping for a Baron key to give 2 key item spots and a couple of bosses available that we don't know who they are yet.
I think, honestly, I think he'd much rather have Panly to Baron Key because that would that's also required objective on his perspective.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm not sure which order I'd rather have them, but either one I would be really thrilled to see. We do get a Palom. Yeah, it's a little late for that Quake Kid. I don't know if anyone's going to bother taking him.
Yeah, I don't think it is really like you're not doing your grind again, right? So, but it still doesn't answer who the 7th character is because that might have been the character we found in the. Oh, he's taking. So she's taking him. I suppose you have Edward, so maybe have someone that's actually useful as opposed to someone who's just going to be sleeping all the time.
Yeah, it could also that Zilch's Edward had a little bit too much HP, and so just going to knock the kid out. Or just Palom doesn't need quite that much experience as Rydia does to get to nuke, so is a theoretically conceivable grind. Zilch still is not quite at Z levels.
And I guess with the slingshot, that grinding to nuke wouldn't take too long either.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be too bad. Should have 10 key items.
Yeah,
or close to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Once you do the dealers, I think that's item 9 and 10. So that's nice at least.
And Blaze showing us the full range of status effect strats, having both pigs and small people, having the mini status on his side. Both of those block the hold spell from actually landing when Golbez casts it on you. So you're able to act throughout the entire cutscene as the Shadow Dragon decides to start trying to make your people take a nap.
Anyway, searches through the Tower of Zot and finds the package.
Dun dun dun.
Oh no, that wyvern. That means wyvern is required.
Yeah,
because it has to have Baron.
Could also have the pan. Yeah, it could have the pan or the hook. Either of those does give us more key item checks, since we do have the rat tail. But here we find a Sid behind the package. It looks like the darkness crystal is burning down Mist Village.
How does the darkness crystal burn down a village? It's dark. Like it doesn't light things up.
Maybe it's just all goth flames. I don't know.
Okay.
Not willing to entertain any of your theories if you have some.
So it looks like Zilch is just gambling to see if the package boss is from my perspective Bahamut, because his perspective also Asura.
I mean,
I can't see.
Yeah, Zilch he knows he's missing both bosses, and only has 4 or 5 spots left that he doesn't know what they are. So I totally get this call.
Alright, the moment of truth is about to arrive. How trolly is this seed?
Now I'm trying to remember who we haven't seen other than Bahamut. I know it's plenty, but my mind is totally blank on who it could be. Oh, but that is a good call by Zilch. That's a Bahamut. We are just missing knowledge of where the pan is.
Oh my god! Oh, that is alright. I think everyone is going to hate Tower Sheik for this seed.
Also, shout out to Vavella Skunk, who did come up with this flag set and has tortured everyone with it on 2 separate occasions. I also believe that there is an async out there in the Free Enterprise Discord with this as well, which may or may not also be super trolly. This could just be a trolly flag set forever and ever.
Well, on the plus side, if Skunk did come up with this, they get to troll themselves. So you know, it's a boomer that hits that hit them in the face. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone who comes with a flag set needs to play it at least once themselves and experience the joy that you are spreading around the world. Death is finally through that Vavalis fight. Well done, keeping Rydia, Rosa, and Edge up. And really, those are the only people who actually matter.
That's true. Like, no, the way I see it, Sid's probably going to be gets it adamant, and the way I see it, this is just going to be a chemist at the end. This works more like to be a chemist, throwing cures and lives and star veils. Meanwhile, Valvalis is through CPU and is about to get their protect ring.
Yep, at least you got a lot of XP out of it. Val doesn't quite have 10 key items. No, it does have 10 key items.
No, she did.
Yeah, it got a lot of XP for that too. So
yeah,
a little bit more rewarded than everyone else who has finished that fight so far. And as we mentioned earlier, there are a whole bunch of other runners playing the seed as well, and we have 0 finishers so far. Which, given the locations of those bosses, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a very close race now, because we know that Daff has found value in Sealed Cave, where none of our rest of our runners have, but we also know that package is also what we need for the other boss, and which Zilch was Zilch, wasn't it? It was Zilch that found. So, it's gonna be a rough one to see what the fastest time's going to be.
Yeah, Zilch making the correct call to continue ignoring everything else on the moon and going straight to Wyvern. Zilch had done a lot of face checking, but hadn't completed all the fights, but is going straight here because, well, why not do the rudest thing possible when you just had a required package?
Well, yeah. I guess this is the upside of taking that Pelham, is you get to use all this. You now have an anchor for this fight.
Yep, not quite enough Star Veils for everyone, but does will hopefully get Sid have that Silk Web thrown off too.
I guess the important question: does Rosa have wall?
Nope, but Rydia has summons, so this is gonna.
Oh yes, I love this strat.
Well, it looks like that might not be what's happening, since we're getting some life potions up. We'll see if Rosa does cast wall, because Rosa definitely has the levels for it. But no, we've got Berserk on Rosa. Rosa probably still has Arty arrows left, since the Berserk won't actually take them away unless she takes a nap, when she only has one left. So we're probably going to see an angry Rosa doing a lot of punching.
The best kind of Rosa.
And we're going to see Palom get like 200,000 XP out of this overall with the slingshot. Should be like 128, 124,000 doubled.
Yeah, that's good. That's going to make a good dent into getting nuke on Palom.
Valskunk is rewarded with the glass hat for taking out the Dr. Dialogue fight at the Vanilla Wyvern spot, while Dathis is coming back to Wyvern one more time, hopefully going to get it this time around.
No, I think
Zilch is through.
So, is it Baron or is it Hawk?
Or we could just get the pan.
Or the pan, yes. Oh. Oh. All right. So.
Zilch is in full face check mode. Unless, well, he still does need to get the hook in order to. He's gonna wake Yang, see what we get out of there. Waking Yang or going back to Sheila has to get you either one of Hook or Baron, possibly both. Deathis unfortunately takes not quite a wipe yet, but is not looking good against Wyvern. But Zilch is mostly in face check mode. We'll see how long it takes to remember that Luca Key is an option.
Yeah. So I guess we are in no mode at least. We know everything we need to do to beat the game, and this was a rude one. Required Wyvern, required package boss, and required sealed cave when you have the warp glitch enabled. This was a nasty seed.
Zilch is both correctly reading the seed and correctly reading that no one is done, and decides to go to the worst possible place.
Oh. No, amazing. So in about 4 minutes time, he will be in go mode, and with the pass, he gets to park, stop at Troya, and just go to town.
Yeah, he's still a little bit under leveled, I think. We saw Palom get up to Stone and I think a couple level 3 spells. Blaze also picks up their pan. I don't remember if Blaze went and did the package. Did you happen to catch that?
I don't think he's checked package at this so far. So, but having said that, Moonblaze Wolf is almost in face check mode. So may have to do some fights for Baron to see if I can find the Baron key or the hook. But but I guess with Pan, you just go check those first, see if before you go into face check mode.
Yeah, with Blaze, if Blaze hasn't done package yet, I would not be surprised if we see Blaze turn in the pan and then follow something from the pan to look for more bosses, even though he actually has them both available currently.
Yeah, and having said that, I don't blame for not checking anything else at the moment. It is a rough one. Meanwhile, Zilch is finding out the very good news that this spot was required. So
yeah, I think this is a really good check by Zilch. It was open to you. You're going to have to come underground anyway in order to turn the pan, so you're never going to be closer. If it's not Nasura, you just reset out back to the bottom, and you waste a little bit of walking time, but not that much. You don't waste time like summoning the whale again to go to the giant and fight maybe 2 bosses, or fight 1 boss fully possibly, and check the other one. I think overall it's a really good time save to do it this way.
yeah, I agree. I do like check. I do like this check for the exact same reason. It's all you're losing is walking time, and given you see that there's no one done, it's highly likely that this was a very rude seed.
Yeah, toss
So, Mummy,
Spoon just to get this fight over with. And you had a question?
I was gonna say, do you remember where package was?
It was behind the Earth Crystal that you got fighting Mom Bomb at the White Spear altar.
Oh, all right. So that's also a very rude one.
Yeah. So White Spear and Murasame spot both required in order to complete the seed. And Sheila did indeed have a little bit of the goods, because I believe Sheila 1 was where we got the Luca key.
Oh yes, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So I remember mentioning that. That was actually quite interesting. That was kind of funny.
Sheila 2 with the Baron key. I didn't see what the Sils gave him in Blaze Wolf.
I didn't catch it either, sadly. But no, Zilch is now through. Zilch is now through. All he has to do is turn that pan. Power shirt. Thank you, chat. Power shirt's actually a very good pickup for force turn in.
Yeah, Edge is going to be real happy with that power shirt.
But as we may have guessed, he's going to go for bulk for boss checks, and he's going to check Dive Baron.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I like this play from Blaze, knowing what he knows. This is a good bit of efficiency. You had to do that Wyvern in order to get the pan, and then you had to go back to Sheila to turn it in. So following up on this chain is overall a reasonable call, and something that I would probably be doing in a race too.
Yeah, I agree. I think in Moonblaze's spot, I would done it. I would be doing the exact same thing, and probably end up 17 out of 17 this seed. Because in terms of all we're short of, we're short the Sand Ruby and we're short the hook.
Yep, and you know that the hook has to be somewhere here in Baron. And that gives you access to your last boss too, so Blaze is absolutely cleaning up all of his available boss checks by doing this.
Oh, hey, we get to fight that evil wall what we saw at the beginning in about over an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, Evil Wall just hanging out there. Not quite so evil at this point. Only doing 96 points of damage to Rydia. Edge does 2220.
Meanwhile, Zilch has now picked up his crystal for getting that power shirt. It'll be interesting what he chooses to do now. Does he go? He probably does need to grind a little bit more, or does he go for it now?
I think that Edge is a little bit under-leveled still. He's probably going to be your main damage dealing. You're probably looking... It might even be... Yeah, there's Rosa going to be doing some killing of the dragons, and that Artie bow or Artie arrows. 6 sirens is probably enough.
Oh yeah, that should be plenty. Oh, that's an ogre. Oh, that's an ogre pogo. That was slightly rude.
Yeah, Nope Rope on the throne doing that double wave, knocking half the HP down. But Edge also just does a lot of damage at this point in the seed, so Ogre Pogo not long for this world.
Hmm. Oh, it was the other twin. All right, so now we know that there's no Cecil in the seed. We had both twins. But now, so all those crystal swords that we got early on, just money.
Put them on your mantle. Just kind of have a nice display. Like, I played this seed and all I got were these stupid crystal swords. Meanwhile, Vivaliskunk getting their adamant out of the Vivalis, their namesake, at least their FF4 namesake, resets out of it because really who cares? Doesn't give Vivaliskunk anything that is useful at this point in time. Except possibly access to the Coca-Cola shop if you maybe wanted to buy some possibly good things, but I don't think you're terribly worried about it right now.
Did Valvalis actually do that Wyvern spot in the end? I don't think I spotted them doing it.
I know that Gundam Pilot Fez does have the pan marked, and I did see them in the fight along the same time when Dathas was.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Right, I forget those things. But it makes sense to just bail the moon at this point. Just know. Looks like they're going to also.
Yeah, they're going to do some grinding, and the real Baron King is 3 Dark Imps in a trench coat.
How do they fit on that throne? Like it's.
Well, it's the secret throne, so there might be like secret compartments. I don't know.
Ah, of course. This all makes sense. So it looks like Zilch doing some last-minute shopping before they take on that sea fight. I assume that they're happy with their levels and whatnot. So
Or if not
Yep.
actually happy, is content enough to just go ahead and push forward because this is a large race with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's just short on Nuke on a whole bunch of characters, but that's alright. So yeah, so we have a question we like to say. We say in this community. Given that Zeromus is a very rude fight, we can't really put him anywhere in the overworld. But this is a we have to leave him where he is. But given this is a randomizer, we do like to change up what sprite that Zeromus has. So the question we have to ask tonight is, whose butt are we kicking tonight?
Do you have a favorite?
Who are you hoping? I think in terms of who I would want to see, I always want Edgeworthmas. I love that series too much to say no to that.
I have no objections to that sprite. I always and forever will want to see more and more and more sprites. So I'm sure I have not seen all of the 4.0 sprites that have gotten in from that. So I would love to see a sprite I have not seen before.
So, that's true. Hopefully it's from a game that I recognize, because I think last time I did comms, I had no idea.
I have no idea about like 70% of them, so it's great to explore all sorts of games that I've never actually played.
That's fair.
And we have Tanzramus, who I have absolutely no idea where it's from, but I do love it.
Oh, Activator? Oh, I love that game. I don't remember that part, but I love that game. Yeah, that's So it looks like how Zilch is going to handle this is going to do it's basically it's the edge show really.
Yeah, pretty much just going to do Berserk Edge and then have Rosa and her 2300 hit points kind of keep everyone alive. Meanwhile, Wolf doing the package, finding the Bahamut behind there. Will be feeling pretty good about doing this check, although a little bit sad that did a bunch of other checks beforehand.
Although having said, we also know that he is going to have to go make their way down to Sealed Cave to get the final one, but it is still progression.
Yeah, it reduces the chance that you're going to be interested in doing the giant. We'll see if Blaze summons the hovercraft and gets in it and goes down to Eblin Cave. Since we still don't have a finisher in the race, we'll see if Zilch has a chance to dot done before Blaze gets too far in a particular direction.
Ooh. Down goes Palom, but that's still looking relatively good on Zilch's side.
Yeah, it looks like Blaze is making the correct call, going straight to Sealed Cave. Definitely a less of a time sink than going and either summoning the giant or going down to check the King Queen Evelyn spot.
Meanwhile, while that's happening, we know that Oh, that is a lot of emotes going on Moonblaze's screen.
Yes, it looks like his chat is probably cheering him on. But Skunk is making the right call going up Zot. We'll be getting their package. We'll see if Valvalis does follow up on that package right away or not. And Dathis is picking up a lot of experience fighting the CPU.
Ooh, sit down. So it's just down to Rosa Edge, but that's all we really need for this fight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all Zilch was actually counting on. Sid just staying alive would have been tossing cure potions or maybe ethers to Rosa or shipping in with a little bit of damage, but isn't actually someone he was counting on with only 2,000 HP. Zilch is a very practiced hand at some unconventional Z fight strategies and doing a lot of possible nerfs that other people aren't comfortable with. He is very his character Z fight because you can actually pretty much beat Zeromus with any character as long as you have enough Star Veils and Silk Webs and sometimes Elixirs and 1500 HP.
All right.
But Blaze picks up their crystal, is officially in fully go mode, and doesn't need a whole lot of levels actually. That edge is pretty well set in terms of HP and the gear.
Yeah, it's not too much. Doesn't need too much more levels if he even wants any.
And so Milani pointing out in chat that you don't even really need Silk Clubs. They're useful just to make it a little bit easier to put in the command, but the crystal will always trigger the counter nuke, so you don't need anything more than maybe one Silk Club just to make it a little bit easier on yourself. And maybe don't even actually need that.
Ooh. I get the feeling that Rosa is just about to run out of MP, but that elixir tops up pretty nicely.
Ooh, that was a pretty gnarly big bang, but Rosa has enough HP to survive, and we don't go straight into Meteor, so everything's okay.
Ooh, that was a hot no. That was a palpitation or two. That's Meteor phase, so Zilch is nearly done.
And that is a flash and a crack boom, and that is Zilch coming in first place, I believe.
Yep, he is finished in first place with a time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 46 seconds. GG to him.
Yeah, GG to Zilch. That is a heck of a race and a heck of a seat. And we'll see if we can get Zilch in for an interview here to kind of talk about how he feels about the seat. Meanwhile, Moonblaze Wolf is just starting his Z fight, and Dathis has completed CPU, gotten a lot of XP, and a Protect Ring. Skunk is cleaning up that evil wall, and it looks like we'll be continuing to go through the Baron checks.
Yeah, looks like Valvalis is have they done the Ogre Broker spot, or are they going straight to DMs first?
Looks like just straight to DMs, which overall I do like. If you still need both bosses, it's slightly faster to do it this way. You'll be able to get this out of the way and then kind of only do Baron once and don't have to come back in.
Yeah, I agree. I like this play, considering how much the levels like their, 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 their,
And we are joined by this community races winner, Zilch. GG's on your race, Zilch.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what are your initial thoughts on this seed?
I didn't think it could get trollier than Mondays. And then we had a required Luca with Warp Glitch on and boss behind package. So I was mistaken. I think that sums it up.
And also required Wyvern.
All right, the required Wyvern. That too.
Also, all these crystal swords and no paladin in sight.
Yeah, that was my initial game plan too. Is like, all right, let's find the characters. There's got to be a Cecil. I got an early crystal sword out of a treasure chest. This is great. And then disappointment everywhere you looked. Yeah, that was rough.
But on the plus side, at least you managed to get through it. Yeah, any thoughts on your initial routing?
I didn't have any issues with how I routed it up until I got the darkness crystal. And then, I mean, obviously the way I routed it worked out, but I feel like it probably would have made more sense to do a Big Mac grind or something like that. So I could peak the giant bosses at that point.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you don't really know, like, at what point bosses are going to be too hard to take on without levels, and yeah, I don't know. I was definitely a lot happier with the Artemis arrows I found wherever that was after the fact, because I got a lot of use out of those.
It was for Bull Gauntlet, the full defense. You got those early arrows.
Okay, yeah, they're like huge. Without those, I don't know.
Yeah, that made grinding very easy and simple on those eggs that you got to steal a lot of sirens to get, as well as that Pale Dim.
Yeah. I think I was 2 sirens short of actually getting nuked, so that was kind of annoying. Maybe 1 siren, but yeah, that Z fight was a little scarier than I would have liked.
Yeah, you had a brief scare there, which was down to about 100 HP.
What was that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you did have a brief scare there with Rosa going down to about 100 HP off of one of the big bangs.
Yeah, I figured if I got a Big Bang Meteor, there is no way they're both surviving unless they dodge the Meteor too, so there's a decent chance we'd get to the end of a long Z fight and then wipe. Which, you know, going into the fight knowing that is never a good feeling, but it was either that or like try to grind more, which didn't seem like a good idea. So, YOLO.
Yep, and that was the correct play, and you made a good use of that elixir too that you had left over to top Rosa back up.
I thought I had Ether 2s, but apparently not. You don't want to get into a situation where you're out of mana and then you're scrambling to try to fix everything.
No, that all makes sense. You know, just better to be safe than sorry in that regard. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, would you prefer to play this seed or the last seed? The Monday seed? In terms of
Well, I should say last week or Monday seed, but I did win this one, so I guess this one. Go with results versus the actual feeling of playing the game.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I don't want to deal with CPU. I don't want to deal with Lugate.
Yeah, those are some really good. Yeah, those are some really good choices to kind of avoid those, because Moonblaze Wolf did do both of those fights and got a Protect Ring, and I don't remember what came out of Lugate, but it wasn't terribly exciting.
Glass mask. Glass hat.
Yeah. Also, I don't think I ever found a Cursed Ring or a Mute Dagger, both of which were things I was constantly looking for, or a bow better than an archer bow.
I know we saw Moonblaze Wolf did have a Mute Dagger because he did a Warlock grind for a little bit, and Dathis had found a Cursed Ring looting chests out of the Sealed Cave.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't see any in a shop, but that's not to say they weren't in shops. But yeah.
Alright. And so, do you have any final questions? Yeah, any other questions? Because I'm tapped out.
Yeah, I don't think I do. Do you have any final thoughts on this Sea Dilch?
I think all my thoughts are out there. Wyvern, package required, Luca required with Warp. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Thanks for the commentary, restream, and tracking, guys.
And thank you for being a featured runner, and GG's again on your victory tonight.
Thank you.
Alright. So while the interview was happening, we had Koidrak finish in second place with a time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 55 seconds. GG to him.
Yeah, that is a very good time for a seed that pretty much was going to ask you to full clear, because it didn't give you a whole lot of signposts on where to go and how to make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah, and also with two bosses in very rude spots, like even going sub 210 is probably very good. Meanwhile, we have Rocks on Moonblaze, which looks like they're about to be through.
Yeah, this is all over, but the Zerm is crumbling away. Having those three characters at those HP totals for the rest of this fight is going to be fairly straightforward.
Yep.
And there is the crumble.
Yeah, the GG to Moonblaze, they finished in third place with a time of 2 hours and 52 seconds. We'll see if he's up for an interview.
And you know a seed has to be rude when players of the caliber of Zilch, Koidrak, and Blaze take an hour 50 plus in order to finish a seed, and 2 hours for Blaze. Like, that's an awful long time.
Yeah, it was a very rude seed. Oh hey, that's an edge there. in Evelyn Cave, more vanilla.
Yeah, a little late. I'm sure all of our runners would have enjoyed having a second edge at some point during the seed, but he decided just to be hanging out at his normal spot.
Yeah, meanwhile, Daphis also just happened to loot the treasury. I didn't see what he got, what he got from it, but maybe there was something value. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention either. I wonder what he was hoping to get out of there too.
We might have to ask him about that. Hey, it looks like Moonblaze's Wolf is in. GG's Moonblaze Wolf on your third place finish.
Hey, thank you.
So, how did it feel to run one rather than commentate this?
You know, I had so much fun on Monday. I just had to come out and do the race here on Friday night, and I definitely got my money's worth in both cases. So this was a lot of fun tonight.
Very good. Do you have any specific thoughts on those very fun boss placements?
I mean, I guess I kind of got lucky. I got right it was pretty wild. So I'm trying to remember like the last time I had a seed where I had all the key items and I still had 2 objectives to finish. That was a pretty novel feeling. But I pretty much just tried to go in the order of what seemed the most efficient to do the checks. So I guess I got lucky the first 2 times checking the package and the Luca key to find those 2 required bosses. But yeah, yikes, that is brutal. And then everything behind Pan guarded by Wyvern. I don't know where a curse string was in that seed. Maybe there was one in Baron after you had the Pan, but you had no way of getting a curse string unless it was in a chest somewhere, for as best I could tell.
Yeah, we saw Dathis loot one out of Sealed Cave.
That's pretty desperate at that point, I have to say. But man, that's tough. That's a really, really hard seed tonight.
Did I see that correctly? That was... Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say we were just we had seen Dathis actually peek that Luca boss before pretty much anyone else had, before he went up to the moon, and had looted that curse ring. And so when we saw Wyvern and saw no progression really behind much else on the moon, we were wondering if that was going to be a key play for anyone.
I just knew that I couldn't do it when I first found it. So I knew I had the Earth Crystal. I would be able to find a character that could hopefully agility anchor the fight, and it wasn't too bad the second time. But yeah, like I had to leave that for last at that point, and that just wasn't really a good feeling. So
Fair enough. Did I see that correctly? He only listed 30, what, 59 chests? That's amazingly low.
I mean, with that start, you didn't really need to loot very much. The crystal ring pretty much could carry you through most of the early game. So yeah, I really didn't loot very much at all after that first kind of round of chests in the underground. And you know, maybe I should have looted a little bit more, but like I never even went to Damsian. I didn't even go to a lot of like the traditional sort of early loot places, just because that start was just so blisteringly fast. You know, you get the crystal ring, you feel pretty confident you can take out the Baron in, and then to get that magma key right away, it was just kind of off to the races.
Yeah, something Infinity and I were talking about when the crystal ring showed up immediately. We're like, I would assume like both you and Zilch would see that as a sign to absolutely just go straight and do Baron in, because that makes it pretty much free with Edge.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, like there's probably a couple other spots that you could have gotten to pretty early. Like I actually felt kind of bad how long I put off Dwarf Castle, considering it was the double check, and then being able to steal sirens almost immediately, finding a coffin in Baron Inn, so like knowing that you can do an egg really quick. It was just like, that's one of the fastest starts I think I've ever seen in a seed.
Yeah, it gave you a lot of tools to get going very, very early, and then just spread everything else out, so it took you forever to complete everything.
Yeah, that moon was so rude. There were just some really awful bosses up there. The CPU was terrible. There wasn't really a fast way to do that. Like I think the DPS kind of caught up with you at that point, because it was pretty much just edge or nothing. I imagine maybe there was like a good weapon for Sid somewhere that somebody might have had, but yeah, just like not a lot of good options. And I definitely felt like I kind of ran into a wall up on the moon, and then just like not really having anything there was also kind of brutal. So
yeah, we saw a couple of people just take a look at that CPU and decide to be willing to lose if it wasn't there. That was actually one of the plays that Zilch made that kind of helped Zilch propel himself a little bit ahead of the rest of the field. But yeah, that CPU was just brutal in terms of having so much HP and nothing good.
yeah, it was just there were just some really, really long kind of sloggy fights. It might have been better to go to the Fame Arch and some of that other stuff earlier, but I mean, I knew I was going to be able to do like some Warlock grinding and stuff when I got up there, so I figured I would get up to speed. But man, like that CPU, there's just no good way of doing that with that party. So I was really hoping for Cecil for one of those 2 crystal swords I had.
Yeah, those early crystal swords, and at least you got a whole bunch of Excaliburs to throw.
Yeah, but it was just, yeah, it was I don't know, it was just a weird seed that way, like so fast that I felt like I really got bogged down in the middle there. You have to, like, to win a seed like that, you kind of have to get lucky cutting something out, and I was hoping Wyvern was going to be the cut that ended up sort of propelling me ahead, but that obviously didn't work out. So yeah, Zilch and Poydrak finishing ahead of me, those are 2 really awesome runners, and I feel really good about how that went on the whole, especially that Zeromus fight. That was a pretty intense, crazy Zeromus fight too. So
Yeah, I mean, 2600 HP Edge with what Ninja Long as the pretty much your main damage is an awfully long fight, kind of tense.
yeah, and again, no curse string, so I think we've gotten a little bit, I don't want to say lazy as a community. I don't know if that's exactly the right word, but I think we're all just so used to agility anchoring with curse strings. And back in my day, we didn't always have that. We had a vanilla agility and all sorts of crazy shenanigans that we had to figure out how to anchor through. So yeah, no, it's fun. I love challenges like that, and this seed and this flag set were both really challenging, and I enjoyed playing them really all week long. So
yeah, having a character hunt and 2 bosses definitely kind of extends the length of the seeds a good bit.
I mean, it does when you put the bosses where they were both nights. So, yeah, definitely, that's definitely the case. But no, it's a fun flag set. I love the objective system. I just really like where the game's at right now. And thank you to everybody who put on the restream tonight. This was a lot of fun. I don't always do Friday nights because it's a little bit late for me, but I had a really good time tonight. So thank you all for that.
I'm glad you came out and glad you volunteered to be on the restream. Now, did you laugh out loud when you saw Asura at the Evil Wall spot for the second night in a row?
I don't know if I laughed, but like I actually, I'm sure I made some sort of noise, but like it was weird. I was kind of expecting it to be there, honestly, after Monday, and then to see it there, I think it was more of an eye roll than a laugh, but it was just kind of, and at that point, Zilch hadn't finished yet, or maybe he was just finishing right around then, so I thought maybe I had a chance to actually win the race still, so.
And Infinius, do you have any other further questions for Moonblaze Wolf?
No, I have no further questions. It was just great watching you go through that seed.
Hey, thanks, and I hope you had a good time watching it. I hope you had as good of a time as Demarine and I did on Monday, because this was two really wild races, and I think this flag set might go down in infamy as far as how it played out for the 2 weekly races in which it was featured. So.
Yeah, I think this was probably the trolliest back-to-back we've ever had, or at least in a couple years that I've been watching. It feels like it.
Absolutely. So thanks, guys. I'm gonna go head out now, but have a good rest of the night, and take care, everybody. See you all again real soon.
Thanks, Moonblaze Wolf.
And that was Moonblaze Wolf, our third place finisher of the seed and second place on the restream. And while we were interviewing Blaze, we did have Dark Kobold finish in fourth place with a time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 33 seconds. And then Flurry 14 finished in fifth place, the time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 3 seconds. So a couple finishes coming in pretty close right at the end there.
Yep. Meanwhile, Valval's has got their crystal after checking everything, including giants. So they're about to make their way into the Z fight, whereas Daphis is finally checking the required Wyvern.
Yeah, and I believe Valis has got enough XP that I'm pretty sure I saw Rydia toss a couple of nukes at that Asura, so Valis will have a pretty quick Z fight.
Yep, gets more than one source of damage in this fight, so that's nice. So yeah, let's see how they do with this fight. How much quicker it goes for them. We saw how much Zilch had to struggle through with not enough hit points on their casters. So we'll see how Valvalis handles Tanzamus. Meanwhile, Daphis is going through another attempt at Wyvern. Looks like they took a nasty wipe before, but I suspect that this Wyvern is the last spot that he has to check. So I would think that that'll be his go mode once he finishes this fight. So yeah, Valvalis using the crystal, about to reveal Zerus's true form. And we'll that was a very quick shake. That looked like a very quick shake on from Viral Skunk. So they're going to get the counter onto Rydia. That's going to take her out, and that might be a bit of a rough one. Edward taking his rightful spot in this fight on the ground.
Yeah, Edward's 60 HP in a dream doesn't go very far if he doesn't hide.
You never know. Could just get all the dodge rolls somehow.
Bards are lucky, but I don't think he's that lucky.
Yep. Meanwhile, Daphis is through the Wyvern, is about to get his pan as his reward. I imagine that's his go mode afterwards.
And Valis does pick Rydia back up to kind of help keep pushing some damage. And Big Bang not enough to take her back down, so we'll be able to
Ooh.
just keep tossing some nukes if maybe Sid throws a Star Veil up on himself or something. Good awareness, Val, not throwing a Star Veil when the black hole is going to come out.
Yeah. Very good play. I admit I probably would have thrown it and go and probably start swearing if once it hit.
Yes, there might have been some adult language coming out of my mouth at that point also. Death is giving us our first look at the Kokol shop.
Oh. Might have to ask him about this as well. What he's hoping to find.
Yeah, he might be hoping to find some sirens. Definitely looking to pick up that X-Cal that's there for free. Power shirt, not bad.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. No. Good take. Always feel sad when you have to sell crystal swords because you're not doing anything else with them.
Well, could be out of the Invenerable playlook and sell them to assert dominance over the seed. It's a little late to assert dominance at 2 hours 16 minutes, but hey, assert it when you can.
Yeah, no. What else do you get to do that anyway?
Oh, Death is giving Rydia the power shirt as well as picking up a dragon whip. We might be
Oh,
seeing many Zerks.
Oh, I love it. The old battle kiddia. Although I suppose she's actually an adult now, so not so much of a kid.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, it looks like
yeah,
It
Val
got-
is doing a good job there. But I was going to say that Zerker Warrior Rydia is a good second, I think, behind Zerker Warrior Rosa in my heart for Zerker Warrior people who don't normally get a chance to. But I do love a good Zerker Warrior Rydia who does get to equip the Zeus Gauntlet.
oh, right, she does. I forget when she. No, there's always so many things about this round which I just don't remember at all. It's amazing. Yep, Daphis complete waking Yang up with the pen and gets his crystal.
Yeah, and for as complete as you kind of needed to do the seed, that getting Crystal at 218 is still a pretty darn good time. And Trino in chat saying this must be a rude seed for it to take this long for everyone. Indeed it was. There was a Wyvern who gated the pan up on the moon, who no one really wanted to tackle. There was the Asura at the Evil Wall spot when we were able to skip going into Luca Cave because the warp glitch is on. And there was a required package that you got from doing the Plague
Earth
Spot
Crystal.
on the moon. Yeah. Plague Spot on the moon got you the Earth Crystal, which got you the package, which then you had to do in order to get Bahamut.
So very, all in all, very fun. For I guess everyone watching, maybe less so for the runners. But it looks like Daphis is about to enter the Z fight as well. So and they'll soon be taking on Sansamus.
And we've got some good rocks falling on Valskunk's side. There, Edge and Rosa both dodge, and tank, who is Sid's name this time, only takes about 900.
And with that, Vivals is done with this fight. GG's to them. They finished with a time of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 11 seconds, which is good for 8th place. Got sniped by PK4787 with a time of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 9 seconds. And I'm not sure if we mentioned that, but while this was happening, Pkey finished in 6th place with a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes and 57 seconds. GG to everyone, all our runners so far.
Indeed. And we are joined actually by Velasconk here in the booth. GG's, Val.
GG.
So what did you think of your flag set creation?
Well, all my testing on it never ended up with, evil things like Asura twice at Sealed Cave, or Evil Wall at Leviathan, or Wyvern Guard in the Pen at Pale.
And how about that Bahamut at the package?
It happens sometimes.
So the one thing that happened to you that was really unfortunate was selling those Artemis arrows. How did that feel when you saw Pale Dim?
I took a look. I didn't really have a bow to make use of the Artemis arrows, so ultimately it didn't really matter. I was just like, I'm just gonna get some levels. I'll come deal with Pale Dim later. He's gonna be easy no matter what. It's just I want to make sure I have Blink on Rosa and Berserk for Edge. Well, Berserk for Rosa to use on Edge so I can get through it. And I was hoping to find like an Edge weapon to make things faster. Well, no.
Yeah, I think we saw a full moon, a couple long swords, and somebody had a ninja sword that I don't have any idea where they picked it up from.
Lucky them on that ninja sword. But I'm still more upset that Asura was in Sealed Cave at both weekly races.
I mean, that was amazing. I admit to taking a certain amount of glee at that, but also I ran neither of them, so yeah.
I think I also laughed a lot when I saw that, so...
I was just thinking, surely Asura's not at Luca again. There's just no way. Go check and see Leviathan at Hook. I'm like, there's 2 bosses in Giant. That's probably where she is. If not, I'll check Luca, and then I'll suffer through the cutscene and all that just to check that last spot. But it turns out she was at Luca, and I was just like, oh, well, I could have done this, 30, 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, and 30, 40 minutes, including a very long slog at CPU at Ogopogo with no real great damage.
That's why I threw the spoon. It would speed up that fight immensely.
Yeah, I think you were the only runner to actually do D-Lunars first to get that spoon in time.
Well, once I had Fire 3 on Rydia, it's like, okay, she's going to be doing 5,000-6,000 to both of them. Edge is going to do okay damage. I mean, he's kind of worthless there. Sid can just exist, and Rosa has Cure 4. The D-Lunars aren't scary.
That'll make sense. So, speaking of which, then, how did your testing go for this flag set? Because you mentioned you created the flag set to begin with. How did your testing go for it?
Well, the original idea was you're going to start with Rydia, and then, I encountered Wyvern at Leviathan spot, and there was a lot of different changes I made to it. Like, originally we were doing both Leviathan and Asura spot and Odin spot as well, instead of hunting Asura, waking Yang. But I was just like, this is miserable with Rydia start and no Fu. Decided to switch Rydia for Edge, and then once again, I wanted to make it something kind of fun without being too difficult. Unfortunately, Leviathan spot just is always evil, apparently. but a lot of my testing beforehand, I would find Rydia relatively early, and it always just kind of devolved into a boss hunt with nothing too terrible at Leviathan.
Yeah, I just happened to roll a couple of tough physical bosses in these two community races that just punch so hard.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Rando, right? Sometimes you get, sometimes you get Peldium, sometimes you get King Queen Evelyn there, so you never know.
That's the nature of the rando. I was just happy to see Peldium there instead of Evil Wall or just anything nasty. Peldium is not ever scary, just physical attacks.
Yeah, I mean, that is a pretty punchy spot, but when you don't have the speed that Evil Wall gets, because Evil Wall cheats, it's not quite as bad. And plus, everyone did have access to that Moon Veil, too.
I mean, you could use the Moon Veil. I was just saving it in case I ran into something a little bit nastier, because I knew I was going to the moon at that point. I was thinking, I might need this in case I run into, like karate.
Yeah, and speaking of karate, how about all those Cecil weapons and no Cecil?
I wish I could throw crystal swords.
Maybe we can get an upgrade to Kukul's shop to let you forge them down into Excals for a couple thousand or something.
Yeah, maybe you could just send a suggestion to Boardface, throw a crystal sword.
No, we've already got the spoon, and throwing crystal swords, it seems like anytime Cecil's not in a siege, you just have them aplenty.
Very, very true. Infinus, do you have any further questions for the Skunk?
No, I've got no other questions. Thank you for the flag set. It was made for some very fun and interesting races.
Well, of course, and thank you all for having me on the restream, and of course, thank you Tower Sheep and Gundam Pilot Spaz for restreaming and tracking respectively. I'm going to go have dinner now.
That sounds like an excellent plan. Again, GG's on your finish here. That was a rough seed, and you did very well with it.
GG.
Yeah, so while that's happened, Daph has just finished up, finished up their Z fight, and they finished 9th with a time of 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 7 seconds. GG to him.
Yeah, GG to Dathas. Well played.
So this was a real slog when we're nearly at 2.5 hours, and only half of the field is. When we just hit half the field being done just now. This was a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do want to see some more for Enterprise over this weekend, we do have a couple of events that are happening. Let me find some details while we wait for Dathas to join us here in the booth. We do have the SNES Rando Relay happening in Randomania Super Week, which is going on right now on some of the other Randomania channels. That will be tomorrow night. I believe that is... I will get details on exactly what time that is, but it's sometime tomorrow night when that Rando Relay is happening. Because it's part of a relay, we don't have an exact time. But do indeed keep your eyes peeled at Randomania, who is a wonderful partner of ours, allowing us to stream every Friday night these Friday night community races on their channels.
But with that, we have Daphis. GG's Daphis on your 9th place finish.
Thank you very much. That was one heck of a seed.
It sure was. How did you feel when you dove that Luca key early and saw Asura?
So I saw the Luca key. I did the warp glitch because I saw that was on. Like, okay, either this is going to be a good key item to get out of the way early or not. Got Luca key. First thought is, you saw the save out front. I'm like, okay, if it's here, I get a huge thought of this is just out of the way. Don't have to worry about it. And as soon as I saw that Asura, I'm just like, you obviously were going to be here. And I forgot I had no Star Veils. Remembered they were in Baron, grabbed them, went back, and just kind of did the Berserk Edge thing and watch him do his work. Or sorry, Berserk Sid and watch him do his work. 5k arrows is nothing to scoff at with just an archer bow.
No, that is some good work he put
No.
in with those mute arrows and archer bow.
Yeah.
He also did a heck of a lot of work with all the 10 Artemis arrows as well.
Yeah.
Really great for my grind. Great just putting down the D-Lunars when after they got frogged. I got very, very lucky on that fight too. The fact that they both did breath on just Rosa and it reflected back to the correct ones. That was RNG being very, very nice to me. Then there was that Wyvern fight. That was a thing.
Yeah, it looked like
Yeah.
he struggled with that.
Yeah,
just not have enough star veils.
The 3 star veils was enough. The problem was my agility, actually. If you saw the one that actually got through, Rydia had enough agility to then get through, and everyone was fine. And with Edge to get up a star veil and start darting stuff, whereas the times I wiped, it was only 2 people were getting star veils off. So it was just a little bit of extra levels, a little bit more relative agility. Aside from that, I did a little bit of the math after watching the one that finished versus how much damage Edge did on his own. I think he was maybe like an auto attack from killing it, which was disappointing.
Yeah, that would be disappointing.
Yeah.
Now, you had picked up a curse ring out of Sealed Cave. Had you forgotten about that when you got up to the Wyvern?
Nope. Edward was equipped with the cursed ring. I didn't think I needed it because I'm like, okay, agility should be fine for almost anything. Wyvern was the only one that was the problem. I'm like, okay, throw that on Eddie. And again, still the agilities of everybody else was just not enough. They weren't fast enough, even with throwing the ninja hat and the crystal ring on Rydia. It just, I don't know why their agilities just weren't being nice, but a couple levels and it was no problem.
Yeah, well, GG's on getting through it and putting together a really good run. You're able to not have to go through Baron in or check the hook in order to find your bosses.
Yeah, I was very thankful about that. I'm guessing that Sheila held the hook and then Rattail had Baron Key, or did Sheila have both?
Sheila had Baron Key, and then Odin Spot had the hook.
Ah, all right. Yeah, that's I saw the last 2 key items, like, this is one of like 2 different possible combinations, but was the pink tail anything nice? I'm assuming that I saw talks of another crystal sword. Was it hidden behind there?
There's a crystal sword in a trap chest and off of a boss. I don't think we saw anyone turn into the pink tail.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, that was also probably the best popper run I've ever seen of Edge. Longsword and full moon. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I do have. Yeah.
Go ahead, Infinius.
I was gonna say. Actually, one question I did have was why did the treasury at that point?
So I saw the finishes come in, and I'm looking like, you know what? Edge is doing fine as it is. I was looking for either a better bow, a ninja sword, like literally any ninja sword that wasn't a long. Like I was looking for a little ninja, maybe Masamune. Took the chance. If it's there, it's there. If not, I'll eat the extra time loss. I just wanted Edge to have something nice. And one other thing. After buying those power shirts and seeing the power shirt on the Sylph turn-in, I was laughing the entire way to Zeromas.
Yeah, we saw you pick up that Dragon
so,
Web too, and wondering if you're gonna just go with maybe go try and find the hook and go Quinzerk or something, steal a bunch of Bacchus wine off of ogres.
I thought about something like that. I'm like, no, let's just finish this out. Because I could have just went to Evelyn Castle and stolen them from that chest there, but I just wanted to finish it up. I was like, whatever, if she gets a couple of hits in, she gets a couple of hits in. She's literally done nothing this seed.
I think you were the only runner to get her. No, she didn't have nuke for you. She had nuke for Valis, I believe.
Yeah, no, she didn't. I didn't get her to nuke. She didn't survive enough bosses. She did her job against Wyvern and got me an extra mega nuke reflected. That was all she needed to do.
Yeah, that's a good run for her.
Yeah, but thanks guys very much. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, Antidale and Phineas, I'm excited to see the commentary you guys put on there. Tower Sheep and Gundam Pilot Spaz, thank you very much for the behind the scenes work you guys do. Thank you guys for watching, and especially thanks to Random Mania for hosting, especially when they're in the middle of their super week. I know they're super busy too.
Yeah, and thanks for running Deathus. It was a pleasure watching you do it, and thanks for coming in for the interview.
My absolute pleasure. Good night.
Good night.
And that is going to do it for us this evening. Like we talked about earlier, we do have about 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, the free enterprise run during the Rando week here on Randomania. So please do come out and cheer us on and just enjoy all the great content that will be on Randomania this weekend. Infinity, do you have any other thoughts tonight?
No, this was an amazing race to watch. I know I know I had a good time. I had a good time commentating with you and today as well. It was a great race.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure being in the booth with you. And again, thank you to Renderina for hosting us tonight, and Tower Sheet for doing a great job on the restreaming, and Gundam Pilots Baz for doing a great job tracking. Thank you all for watching, and hope you have a great evening and a great weekend.